Good morning, everybody. My name is Paulo. I will be leading us in meditation this morning. I've been practicing meditation for a little over 20 years, and I have been a member of the Sangha here for close to 13 years now. And Ann and Harvey asked me to help lead meditation on Sundays. So, hi. Hopefully, I'll do a good job. We will start this morning with our opening aspiration. If you have a sheet, well, yeah, they're up there. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. A little bit about what we'll be doing this morning. So, y'all are here to meditate, which I've always found to be a convoluted concept, or there's just a lot, many people interpret meditation as many things. So specifically this morning, we are going to be doing what in Sanskrit is called shamatha. Oh boy, I'm forgetting the Tibetan term, but basically it's calm abiding. That still sounds like, what is that? We are training our minds to focus on an individual object of our choosing, right? So what does that exactly mean? We are focusing on our breath for most of our practice this morning. So we are choosing our breath as our object of meditation, and then we're going to focus on that, right? And we're going to get distracted, and our mind's going to go into our grocery list or what happened last week or what we need to do tomorrow, and we're going to notice it, and we're going to nudge gently our attention back to the breath. Why do this? That's always a good question to ask yourselves, like, why do you want to meditate? But in general, our minds get easily scattered, right? Whether it's just naturally scattered or we live in a very data-rich environment or just a stimulation-rich environment, whether it's our phones or social media, people wanting our attention all the time. We're continuously pushed and pulled in different directions on where our attention should go based on external factors, but where do you want your attention to go? What do you want to do with that attention, right? So what we're training here is to learn how to be able to focus and sustain our attention in an object of our choosing. The breath is a really nice place to start because it's always here, and it's basically a connection to our body, and our bodies are always here and now in the present moment, right? So by paying attention to our breath, we're able to bring our attention to the present moment. From there, you can move on to, hey, I want to pay attention to my loved ones, right? Like I always think about what's a really nice thing you can do for somebody you love or you care about? It's giving your attention to them, undivided attention, right? Like they're telling you holding space for somebody feels really, really good for both the person doing it and the person receiving it. So training our attention is also a way of learning how to give attention to what matters to us. Then as we train in this paying attention to our breath, we will also break it up every, say 7 to 9 minutes. We'll chant the syllable hung. The syllable hung is a sacred syllable of mind in Tibetan Buddhism, but that's neither here nor there. So we'll chant hung for about 2 minutes. In particular, the hung practice was a practice given to our teacher Anne by her teacher Adsum Rinpoche right there. She asked him for something that would be profound for both beginners and people who have been meditating for a long time, and yet it was very simple and accessible. On that, this is the practice that he gave us, and the hung practice, as I understand it, is you're moving a little bit more dynamic, right? The breath is It's not that the breath is static, it's still moving, but like, the a sound is a little bit more dynamic than just the breath. So we're starting to train in dynamism, train in how do I take when I'm training here in the mat, in the cushion, uh, how does that start to look when I in my day-to-day life, right? Like, can I pay attention to what I'm saying, what other people are saying, right? Sound is a little bit more dynamic. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing this morning, and we'll we'll get to it. So find a comfortable seated position. It's good to kind of move side to side and back and forth, and find a place where both your sits bones are making contact with your seat equally. Just feeling into that. And as you feel into your seat bones, if you're sitting in a chair, you want both your feet on the ground. If you're sitting in a cushion, you can cross your legs or whatever is comfortable, as long as you're able to find a stable base. From that stable base of your sits bones, you start to build a house by just feeling your spine. Your spine naturally stacks one vertebra on top of the next. And you just really naturally, you're not trying to force something like too straight, or you also don't want to be hunchback, right? You just want to find a place where your vertebrae are just kind of stacking on top of each other as coins. And as you get to your cervical spine, like right above your shoulders, you want to tuck your chin in a little bit and imagine that there's a string from the top of your head, so that your cervical spine is actually in alignment with the rest of your spine. You're not looking up too much, you're not looking down, just tucking your chin in ever so slightly so it's a straight line. As you find a comfortable seated position, I invite you just to kind of do a body scan. Just bring your attention to your body and notice if there's some extra tension around your shoulders, or your teeth are clenched against each other. Just as you exhale, letting go of your shoulders away from your ears, putting some space between your teeth, letting go of your belly a little bit, and just finding a place where, the tension of day-to-day human life just resides a little bit. And as you come home to your body, just noticing your breath. Maybe you feel it in your nose as it comes in and out at the tip of your nose. Maybe you feel your lungs expanding. Maybe you can trace it all the way down to the root of your dough in your belly, which is about 3 fingers widths down from your navel and 3 fingers widths in. If you like, you can take a full yogic breath, starting on the bottom of your belly, letting your belly expand. And from there, expanding your lungs, your chest, and trying to expand your lungs equally in all directions like a circle. And then finally, your breath tops up at your collarbones. And as you exhale, you try to slowly exhale at the same speed as you inhale. Now that we're here in our bodies in the present moment, we will try to feel into the 3 pillars of support. The first one, you're just feeling into your seat and how you're supported by Earth. She doesn't ask for anything, she doesn't expect anything, she just allows us to exist here and holds us. And just feeling supported by how Earth just lets us exist. So the second pillar is our skeletal structure. It allows us to sit upright, move around, just feeling into how you're supported by your bones, by the ligaments around your bones. The third pillar of support is our central channel. It's traditionally in Indian and Tibetan culture where our consciousness resides, which is about the size of a pencil, and it goes from our dough right above our perineum to the top of our head, right in front of our spine. And that's really just supporting our ability to have awareness in our body, awareness to meditate and be here. Just noticing if your mind has gone somewhere else, and without judgment or fighting it, just nudging your attention back to your breath. We'll chant home. Just noticing the state of your mind, the state of your body. There's no right answers, just curiosity, just attention. It's that experience of science. Bring your attention back to your breath. As you do get distracted, don't fight your thoughts, right? Like the more you chase after them, and the more you try to suppress a thought, the more it proliferates, the more it gains strength. So this technique is really a little bit akin to an elder watching children play in a park, right? You're not really engaged. You're just, oh, look, there's children. Oh, look, there's a thought. That's okay. I'm going to pay attention to my breath. You know, or when you let your dog go running in a park, you just take the leash off and you let it do its thing. You know, you're doing that with your mind. If it wants to have thoughts, it's okay. We have minds, we have thoughts. It's normal. Our job here is just to notice when we're not paying attention to breath. Just bring gently our attention back to it. There's no judgment. There's nothing wrong with getting distracted. We're just training and bringing our attention back. That's what we're doing. you feel like some sleepiness or some dullness has crept up, you can take an exhalation, just kind of exhale the cobwebs out, and then as you inhale, bringing in light and wakefulness into your body. Helps to take deep breaths to energize. You know, oxygen is food for all our cells. So as we bring in that oxygen, it allows us to wake up a little bit. And we'll chant home. Again, just staying aware of your sensations in your body, state of your mind. As that subsides, bring your attention back to your breath. I'm noticing if there's any tension that has built back up in your body as we've sat here. Maybe it's in your shoulders, maybe in your jawline, and just as you exhale, just letting go a little bit of that tension, unclenching your jaw, letting go of your belly. It is nice to just take little resets throughout your meditation practice. I'd also invite you to try meditating, at least for a little bit, with your eyes open. In our tradition, we typically meditate with our eyes open because we don't meditate to run away from the world. We actually meditate to be more engaged, to be more present. It's a gesture of engaging. If that's uncomfortable or distracting, it's okay to close your eyes. I'm just inviting you to try it. If you do choose to open your eyes, you're not focusing on anything, you're just relaxing your eyes and letting the whole field come in. And we'll chant home one last time. And just bring your attention back to your breath when you're ready. Thank you for sharing your breath with me this morning. I'll take a little break and I'm going to read from this book by Pema Chodron called Comfortable with Uncertainty. Oh, yes. Passing around the book of names. Basically, we just put in names of anybody who thinks it's just tea. That needs a little bit of extra home. Like we're basically, when we dedicate our merit, we're dedicating some of our, our aspiration and merit that we gained through our practice this morning to them. I think it's a common thing in at least most religions that I've attended to. Service is just to, some people might have just passed away or might be looking for a job or might be going through a hard time. So we just share our merit with them. So put their names in there and I will read their names at the end. So I am going to be reading this morning chapter 103, which is page 112. The name of the chapter, it's called Slogan, Practice the 5 Strengths that condense heart instruction. So the whole book's a little pithy, right? It's like each chapter is a page and kind of has like some like powerful message that holds a ton of information in very few words. Because this is even more pithy, she's condensing it even further into this 5 heart instructions. So there goes nothing. There are 5 strengths we can utilize in our practice of awakening bodhicitta. Bodhicitta being the enlightened mind of compassion, joy, equanimity, and love. These are 5 ways that a warrior increases confidence and inspiration. The first one, number 1, cultivating strong determination and commitment to relate openly with whatever life presents, including our emotional distress. As warriors in training, we develop wholehearted determination to use discomfort as the opportunity for awakening, rather than trying to make it disappear. This determination generates strength. Number 2, building familiarization with the bodhicitta practice by building familiarization with the bodhicitta practice by utilizing them in formal practice and on the spot. Whatever happens, our commitment is to use it to awaken our heart. Number 3, watering the seeds of bodhicitta in both delightful and miserable situations so that our confidence in its positive seed can grow. Sometimes it helps to find little ways that the seed of goodness manifests in life. Number 4, using reproach with kindness and humor as a way to catching ourselves before we cause harm to self and others. The gentle method of reproach is asking ourselves, have I ever done that before? Number 5, nurturing the habit of aspiration for all of us that suffer and its seeds diminish and that wisdom and compassion increase. Nurturing the habit of always cultivating our kind heart and open mind. Even when we can't act, we can aspire to find the warrior's strength and ability to love. So a little bit is she's just telling us like practice. Practice, and not practice doesn't mean like, oh, I sit in a closed room for 20 minutes in the morning and I think about being a good person, right? I remember many months ago going to see the Karmapa in New York, and he was asked to talk about bodhicitta specifically. And something that stuck with me is he was talk about like how bodhicitta is not something, it's like, doing a good thing is not like, oh, I donated 20, I made my donation to Greenpeace, like I'm done, right? I'm done for the year. I've done my good deed. Really, it's like every day showing up and being a good person, without judging or without beating ourselves up. But I mean, sometimes it's turning the mirror, like, hey, I'm judging this person, like before I do something like that, like generating that reproach, like, have I been in that position? Is there a reason why this person is this way? It's just opening our heart, really. And it's just opening our heart when we're in a good place, but also opening our heart when we're in a bad place, right? And being open to our own experience of being in discomfort, being loving and compassionate to our own selves. Like that's, to me, that's usually the hardest thing. Is like, all right, I can be compassionate to most people, but can I be compassionate to myself when I'm in a hard spot? That's practicing. Um, Comments, questions, concerns from afar? You want a microphone? She's coming.
I do want to comment on some of the direction you gave during meditation.
Sure.
And I don't know if I heard it before, but just like a grandfather or grandparents, just watching over a grandchild and like soft direction and kind of acceptance. And I don't think I've heard that before, but I think I needed to hear that in regards to like being compassionate to myself as I'm like, oh, this is arising, and oh, don't think about that. But it's just let it arise and let it like evaporate.
Yeah.
So that was something really good to me today in meditation, and I just wanted to voice that.
Good. Happy that helps. I will not take credit for it. It's an old, God, it's probably an old Tibetan or Indian thing. Like I've heard it many times. That's why I repeat it. But I think it's very helpful, as you say. Like, first, I think especially when we're starting to meditate, we're like, oh my God, there's a thought. I gotta go destroy it, or like I gotta push it away, right? And that does not help. The more you try to catch it, put it down, the more it's like, I'm here, right? So like I think the instructions is a little bit like don't fight it, and then just trying to find things in life that like being an elder or being watching your dog play, right? Like you're not trying to get involved. You're not judging it. And I think the more we do that, the more we see the thoughts arise and go away, the less we feel the need to fight them. It's also just a reminder that like we have thoughts. Like you have a mind, you have thoughts. It's okay, right? Like I think in our doer culture, we can get a little bit flustered when we're trying to meditate and we're like, oh my God, I got to do something about these thoughts. And it's like, no, there's nothing to do about it. They're there. It's okay. Hi, K and V Schletzler Hill. Probably butchered that, sorry.
Burnell, and the last name is Schetzel Hill. Schetzel rhymes with pretzel.
Schetzel, yes. Schetzel Hill.
And thank you for leading a wonderful meditation. It was a really, really nice, deep meditation for me. And I had an epiphany that I wanted to share. I oftentimes struggle with the central channel, the side channels, and in some ways also the chakras, which are related. It's like these are not anatomical. We can't find them in a dissection. Why are they there? What are they? And today I sort of like grasped that, like, what is our mind? Can we really define what our mind is? And that's what this practice is all about. And I just recognized the central channel, um, side channels as visualizations, nothing more, that they're just, they are the connection of our consciousness with our physical body. And whoever came up with the idea of describing them as that, it's held and it's passed through certainly the Vedic and the Buddhist tradition. And it just kind of helped me put aside my struggle with like, what are they? Why are they? They're weird.
Very relatable. I've definitely spent countless hours pondering about it. I'm a long-time yogic practitioner and enjoy meditation and just pondering these things and trying to feel them in the body. I think this is just take it as this is Paulo's opinion, right? Don't make anything more beyond that. But I think there's subtle parts to our energetic body, like there is just a visualization of that and the nadis and the channels. But I think there's also semi-coarse aspects of it. Like I think of the nerves as part of the larger nadi system or the channel energy channels in our body system. Like if you think about nerves and you think about how some of these energy channels are described in traditional literature, they're not that different, right? Like they're at transporting consciousness and awareness from, say, your finger, right? Like I touch something, I feel it. Well, that was my nerve. Like, is there more to it? Probably, maybe. I don't know. Right? I'm just a human pondering my existence, but there is something there that we can measure and see, right? There is electricity. There are channels that are transporting that information back and forth. So I would just venture to argue that there is some level of coarseness to it that can be touched. But that all being said, I'm really happy that you were able to let go. I mean, sometimes this concept, like we get stuck in the concept and we can't experience it because we're so like attached to that concept, right? So I think sometimes I'm gonna say like, good, like I think you're probably making progress here. That's a good sign of letting go of some of our overly conceptual mind and just letting just experience, right? Anybody else? Cool. We'll breathe for a couple minutes, probably more like a minute and a half, and then we'll do our closing. Just finding that seat and just grounding yourself into your breath. I think of it as just bringing the mind back home into the present moment of our bodies, the sensations. It's a reminder here that your breath and your body in the present moment are always there for you. You can come back to this any time in the day. This is permission to meditate whenever you want. I'm going to close today by start with dedicating the merit. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity, May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. And we dedicate our merit to all sentient beings, but in particular today, we dedicate it to Nero, victims of oppression, people of the US, Laura, Claudia, David, Sean, Antonino, Mom Bardo, Danny Bardo, Valerie, Amy, Tex, Darcy, Nancy, Dad, Caroline, Strablings, cancer treatment, Pat's healing, Madeline healing, Ruth healing, Corinne K, Declims healing, Palestine, World Peace, Jeff Wilson, Thomas, Melissa, Magniter, Catherine, Mom, Terry, Mike, Juan, Cindy, Brad, Nathan, Jean, Tui, people in the world suffering from war, fatherhood, Marilyn, Ann, Cliff, and Harvey, animals. And we'll close our practice with awe. Just like the home, we're chanting the ah, but in particular, as we're saying ah, first and foremost, we're just giving like our merit, our light to ourselves, from ourselves to ourselves, then to the room, and then as we give it to the room, we also reminded that everybody else in the room is also far in line is giving it to us, and then we just expanded as far as our imagination can go, right? The country, the city, the country, the world, the galaxy, the multiverse, wherever your imagination can go, let your light go there. Thank you again for sharing your breath with me this morning. My name is Paulo, and if you guys need anything, feel free to ask. I now sense yes.
Okay, let me make sure it's working. Yes, okay. So today at 11 a.m., we will have our second session of our summer teaching series, Joy, Attention, and Love, for an hour. So if you want to stick around for that, feel free. And next Sunday, June 22nd, we will start our in-person yoga with Dr. William Cretonis at 9 a.m., followed by our 10 a.m. meditation as usual. And Saturday, June 28th, we will have a booth at the 2025 Houston Pride Festival. And if you're interested in volunteering, just let us know. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.